What's up? What's good? It's your boy and your favorite host, Tommy Springfield, aka the king of all things talk, TV, radio, internet, down at the barbershop, over there at the hairlines, and whatever back alley you in, whether you speak English, Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, whatever you talking, we talking it. It's only a few type of talks we don't do. That's we don't talk hate, we don't pillow talk, and we definitely don't talk to the law. And if you a supporter of the channel, like I always say, click that like, share, subscribe, hit the bell so you can get notifications on every time I drop one of these videos. But before we get into the video, I got one question. Can I talk to you? I don't think you heard me. I said, can I talk to you? But like I said, let's get into this video. Today's video is about some kids at a lake. They pushed a black kid in the lake. He couldn't swim. Nobody bothered to jump in and help him, except for some strangers. And he was brain dead at the moment, but he's making a recovery. And, you know, enough of me talking. Let's let the family talk.
Is demanding answers after their son's near drowning at a Lake Darbon, with friends. And joining me this morning is the family, Christopher Gilbert's mom, along with the family attorney, one of the attorneys, Claudia Payne. Thank you so much for joining me. So let's talk about Chris. What happened? When did you get the call?
I got the call possibly around 8 on April 14th on a Sunday. A friend of his called and she was hysterical, crying in the phone. She told me that Chris had fell into the lake and he had been underwater for 20 minutes or so. And I was like, 20 minutes? Why was he under the water for 20 minutes was my first reaction.
So you heard the mother. He was at the lake with his friends and she got a call that he fell into the lake and he was underwater for 20 minutes, right? So the first question you gotta have, what was y'all doing for 20 minutes? It was more than one of y'all. So y'all just sit around for 20 minutes? But let's let her finish.
And she was just like, oh my gosh, she just kept crying hysterically. And I was like, where is he? He's being airlifted to Shreveport. You know, we immediately started calling around, trying to find out where would he be, where would he go. And they informed me that the only trauma unit they have is Ochsner. So we got to Ochsner. They didn't have a call coming in saying, a plane was about to land. But eventually, about 20 or 30 minutes or so, they got the call saying that he was on the way. He was 10 minutes out. It's like they got the call like right before they landed. And initially, when my son got there, the doctor called us in and told me that at that time that he was brain dead pretty much. And the rest of his organs were starting to fail. And that we had 72 hours on the ECMO machine. ECMO is like sort of like dialysis for the lungs. And they had to put him on a ventilator.
Wow. And so I'm going to bring in one of your family.
Could you imagine that? Your child saying, Mom, go to the lake. Then a couple hours later, you get a call from one of his friends frantically saying he fell into the lake. Keywords, he fell into the lake. And now he's being airlifted. You at the hospital. And it's just all bad. And you have no answers. But let's see what else she says.
Attorneys Claudia Payne, working along Lee Merritt.
That's correct.
And you guys have learned more. Tell us what you learned. Did he fall into the lake? Was he pushed into the lake?
So initially, as the mother reported, we initially thought that he fell in the lake. That was what the friend group initially reported to officers. Soon after, and I guess after more investigation, they soon found out that he was actually pushed by a female within that friend group. She actually admitted to Mom as well as the police officers that she pushed him into the lake.
Was this horseplay or was it mad? Or
so before they even go any further, what should happen to the person that pushed him? He was a promising promising doctor. He was going to be a doctor, promising med student. She pushes him in. Now he got brain damage. What should happen to her? You know, with the King of Talk thinks right. She should go to prison. Do not pass go. Go directly to jail, because I'm 100% sure if it was a little black kid that pushed a little white kid in the water, there would already be charges filed. But once again, I'm being nice. I'm taking it light. Let's listen to Mama.
Well, in the legal field, we characterize things the way we see fit. So, of course, they are saying horseplay. We are saying that it was a criminal, intentional push into the lake.
Mm-hmm. And why didn't anybody go in after him?
Well,
And I'm no dummy. I'm a grown man, and I'm not riding with that lawyer. I don't agree with what she said, that it was a criminal intent. I get why she's saying it, because of course there's going to be a lawsuit. They're going to sue for money. Of course they're going to try to get something. I gotta call a spade a spade. You know, black people, we equate tragedy to getting the check. So I don't agree with her. I don't think them kids pushed him in to intentionally kill him or harm him. But it's alleged that everybody knew he couldn't swim. So, and it's clear that they did nothing. They pushed him in and nobody jumped in. A stranger can't. You know what? Let's let the video talk.
now we've seen a video where one of the friends in this group attempted to go into the water briefly, but neither one of the individuals a part of that friend group were the ones to retrieve him from the actual water.
Okay, we have video of Lake Darbon, and shortly after he went in. Can we share that video, please? Tell me what's going on here, Claudia.
Okay.
This is actually Ochsner LSU. We took this video this morning because this currently is where Chris is at this time, correct?
That's correct. He's within their care.
Okay.
This is a more recent photo.
Look, that's him. That man was a promising med student. And now look at him. And if you don't think this little girl should suffer some type of fate, you part of the problem, and it's just that simple. I'm not going to debate it with you. You can get in the comment section and say whatever you want. We all know in America, if that was a little white kid sitting there pushed in by a black kid, and let's be real, I'm just assuming these was little white girls he was with. I could be wrong. But it is what it is. Let's listen to her.
Of Chris, this is approximately 3 days ago. His condition or his status, it doesn't necessarily get better, but it does change. It's different. The amount of work that the machines are doing on his behalf is constant. His lungs are said to be at 20%, so status doesn't really get better. It's just different.
Is he responding?
He is cognitive. He is responding mentally. He cannot vocalize anything currently. But he's able to give a thumbs up and a nod of the head right now. Okay, now those were the pictures that show some promise. But let's look at the pictures when you first saw Chris at Ochsner LSU. Yolanda, these are not actually, these are the after pictures. What was going through your mind when you first saw him? Because he was just lying there with a bunch of tubes.
Which when I first saw him, I was devastated. Like, I felt as though my life had ended in that moment. Like, my son is aspiring to be a medical doctor. My son is, going to be a medical doctor.
He has a master's degree?
He got his master's last year in biological science. And he's preparing for medical school. So for this to happen to him, my son is like so sweet. This most selfless being you'll ever meet.
This has to be a real crazy story when you think about it. This man has a master's degree and was entering medical school, and I don't know, but it looked like it's over to me. So, with that being said, someone has to justify this. Someone has to make this right. Someone has to be held accountable. Could it be the girl that pushed him in, black or white? She has to be held accountable. But I know if this was a little white kid, there would be outrage and probably things would be moving a little bit faster. But it is what it is.
For that to happen to him, like, I was just devastated.
What is it that you are fighting for now?
I want the young lady who pushed my son, who admitted to me in the family waiting area that night at the hospital, because that friend group came to the hospital, still telling me the same fabricated story that he fell. I learned at that moment in the ER, the sheriff called me and he told me, "Are you familiar with what happened?" "Yeah, he was at the lake and he fell." He was like, "No, one of the young ladies pushed him." And I'm like, "Who pushed him?" And I started looking around the room.
And to me, what makes it criminal, because I don't think they had any criminal intent, but what makes it criminal is the fact that they hid the fact that he was pushed. So you lied and you fabricated a story. What happened? Why? Because you felt that you pushed him and it would cause you some type of trouble. You felt that it would cause you some type of scrutiny. So y'all lied. You know, if y'all huddled and got together and said, "We just gonna say he fell in," all y'all should go to prison, because y'all all fabricated a story after the fact, and y'all all went along with the story after the fact. And now this man's life is just never gonna be the same.
When y'all pushed him, you know, the young lady, like, I did. And I was like, "Why would you push my son in the lake knowing he couldn't swim?" She said, "Well, ma'am, I didn't know that man couldn't swim." And I was like, "Who is that man? This is supposed to be amongst groups of friends, right? Who is that man?" "Chris." Everybody knows he can't swim. You know, he jokes about him not being able to swim. Even when we went to the restaurant, the owner of the restaurant even stated, "Everybody knows Chris can't swim. He's been coming here for 2 years. He always joking about it. I got to have on a life jacket." You know, because they say he would come there and go canoeing sometime and he will always have on a life jacket. So everybody knows. If you look at some of the posts, you can see anybody that know him from elementary to middle school, Chris can't swim.
Who actually pulled him from the water? Was it the restaurant worker?
No, it was actually another patron of the restaurant, Dawson Faust, who was a complete stranger to the family and the community prior to this, but now he's their hero, you know. And no, I mean, he deserves the honor.
Yeah. So Claudia Lee is actually flying into town. What's next for you all today?
So his legal team, Chris's legal team, consists of myself and Lee Merritt of Lee Merritt and Associates from Dallas. We have a dual interest: first, to seek justice by demanding that an arrest is made, but also to hold the restaurant bar owner responsible for not keeping Chris safe while he will patronize their business.
Now, this is where I'm conflicted, right? Is there an arrest to be made? Let's be honest, you know, when I first seen this video, I was ready to come in here and talk hella shit about the person that pushed him. And at the end of the day, I think they were horseplaying. But, you know, did you really know this man couldn't swim? And once again, it becomes criminal. For 20 minutes, he flapped around. Y'all didn't jump in? It was a group of y'all. If y'all couldn't swim, y'all could have formed a human chain and got him. But what happened? Everybody froze up. So I'm conflicted on what those charges would be like. And then I'm conflicted on what does the owner of the establishment, what's his responsibility? Does he own the lake, or does he just have a business on the lake? Who's responsible for the lake? Is there normally a lifeguard at the lake? Does the city run the lake? Because I don't know what charge you're going to charge people with, and I don't know if the owner of the business is responsible. But clearly she got a legal team, and clearly they going to check into all that. But let's let it out. It's only a minute.
All right. Anything else you want to add? We'll be following this story.
I just want to thank everybody for the prayers and the concerns. Thank you. Please keep the prayers coming. He is recovering. It's still a long journey. But I see progress. We see progress. And I thank you all for the love and the prayers. Thank you.
Yeah. The latest pictures are promising.
Got another video from a different channel, different perspective.
Year-old Louisiana family of a 26-year-old Louisiana man, Christopher Gilbert, is seeking justice after he suffered brain damage when a friend allegedly pushed him into a lake despite knowing he couldn't swim. The incident occurred on April 14th at the lakefront restaurant in Farmerville. Gilbert's mother, Yolanda George, received a frantic call from a friend reporting that Gilbert had fallen into the lake and had been underwater for about 20 minutes. Gilbert, an aspiring medical doctor, was rescued and hospitalized, initially deemed brain dead. However, he later regained consciousness. Investigation.
So earlier, that was a video of them. So that's crazy that that man was in the water for all that time and they just were sitting there. You seen it. That's crazy.
Revealed that a female friend had pushed Gilbert into the water, admitting to it later. While the incident was labeled as a, quote, horseplay by some, Gilbert's family believes it was a criminal act, The Guardian reported. They are urging authorities to arrest the person responsible and hold the restaurant owner accountable for negligence. A petition support.
Yeah, I gotta take back what I said earlier. These people definitely, that's definitely criminal. And it looks like he's the only black kid. So these white kids pushed this kid in this water, right? And look at them, they just sitting around. I just wasn't sure if that was them in the earlier video, but clearly that's them not doing anything. So this guy over here looks like he's more looking out to make sure ain't nobody else is coming or seeing, or he sees them being filmed. So you mean to tell me it's like 6 or 7 people here, no one could swim? No one? Come on, man. Yes, definitely criminal charges. Yes, definitely locked him up, because we know if that was 6 black kids and 1 white kid, and the white kid suffered this, there would be an arrest made, definitely.
The family's demands has garnered over 2,600 signatures. As of Friday, Gilbert had regained consciousness and was eating on his own, though he remained hospitalized.
That's very, very crazy, very messed up, and definitely criminal charges should be filed. But like I always say, if you like the videos I do over here, click that like, share, subscribe, click the bell, click all so you can get notifications every time I drop one of these videos and get these real, non-biased, don't care what race you are opinions. Holla at your boy.